Yo, I'm Brendan. Happy New Year and happy dividends because I just had the best dividend month of my entire life. So let me show you the numbers. Also, let me show you the updated spreadsheet because I've cleaned things up. They look a little bit better. They look a little bit nicer. I've also got 2 new charts to show you. My yearly APY chart, my monthly dividend amount chart. We're starting 2025 off with a bang. If you're new here, I've been investing in dividends for 23 months with Robinhood. Is Robinhood the best dividend investing portfolio in the whole world? Probably not, but they're just very easy to use. Everything's very clear and simple. And I thought, I want to distribute this cash in some way that's not a high yield savings account. I want it to be working for me. Dividends are interesting enough. Let's do a little experiment and dividend invest. So at the end of this month, actually, we'll hit a full 2 years of dividend investing. So at that point, we can actually do some math and say, was this really worth it? Was it not? Going forward, should we keep doing it? Should we not? Because don't get me wrong, dividends are more fun day to day than normal investing because you get these little cash payments and it feels like, hey, this is really cool. I made $34 for doing nothing, or I made $47 for doing nothing. But if our returns are astronomically worse than if we're investing in other ways, are we giving up money for no good reason or for an emotional little high? So let's get into it. Let me show you what happened in December and how I made the most dividends ever. When I first started this account, I only had $704 in it. And then over time, I put more and more of our available cash into it. You know, it was kind of like our emergency fund cash that I wanted to live somewhere more productive. So right now, the total amount of money that I have put in is right at $30,000. The only contributions I made in December were $10 from 2 different referrals from people signing up with my link for Robinhood. So thank you for doing that. Now let's get into the juicy details of the dividends we made. This is the old spreadsheet too, by the way, so don't be too disgusted by this. I'll show you the new one in just a minute. Not only was December epic because we got a lot of dividends, like this is a very long list, 15 different dividends, but it also included all the heavy hitters because some of these are quarterly payers, some of these are monthly payers. And so because it was the end of the year, we hit every single one and it was epic. JEPI, JEPQ, all the little small guys, SCHD, SPYD, SPHD. If it was a classroom, we had perfect attendance. And so what that amounted to was at the end of the month, I had a total of $206.50 in dividends. It's my first $200+ month. And some of you are out there, I think there's 2 camps, right? Some of you are saying, so what, dude? $200 in a single month from over $30,000, like that shouldn't actually get you that excited because that's not that big of a deal. You could have put that in some other kind of investment and made a lot more money. And so this is lame. Others of you who are interested in dividend investing go, that's pretty amazing. You've got this money that's sitting there that's still available to you to use for an emergency fund. But in the meantime, it's given you $200. That is a substantial amount of burritos. That's probably like 1 tire on a race car. So we're not like buying the whole race car yet, but our burritos and race cars theme continues through because these are beautiful things in life we get to experience. And we don't even have to buy the race car. We could rent the race car. So this is like almost the cost of 1 cheap track day. Pretty awesome. That means the return for just this month was 0.69%. And then that means that if that rate that we got this month was every single month of the year, it would add up to an 8.26% return just from the dividend. That is epic. Granted, it's got to be spread out over multiple months because some of these are just quarterly payers. And so that's an unrealistic expectation for me with the level of risk I'm willing to accept when it's dividend investing time. But I love seeing the numbers so high. And then because I hit over $200 for the first time, I added a new metric because I was inspired by somebody else I saw online. I think it was on Reddit. And they said something like, if my dividend portfolio was a full-time worker, it would be getting paid X dollars per hour. I thought, man, what a cool like metric to track. And if I'd done that math for last month, for November, my full-time worker being the dividend portfolio would have only made 73 cents per hour. But this month, because it was so epic and so huge, I would have been making $1.29 per hour. Hey. The math behind that is assuming that someone who is working full-time is working 40 hours a week for 4 weeks per month. So 40 hours times 4 weeks is 160 hours total. So I took my total dividends this month, divided by 160, and got that $1.29 per hour. I think it's a pretty fun way to look at your dividends because it's encouraging to think about your money working for you in the same way that like an employee could. This number is really low though. Even though it's my best dividend month ever, you know, $1 an hour is not that exciting. But if it was up around $5 or $10 an hour, that'd be pretty cool. And then this next metric is one I'm actually getting rid of going forward. My average of yearly rates by month number is just an arbitrary thing where I've averaged out the monthly rates, made them into yearly rates to try and understand like what my overall dividend return has been. And as of right now, the current rate is 6.34%, but I just don't trust the math behind it that much. I'm not sure I want to keep doing that. So this next sheet that I'm going to show you is the new Fresh Start dividend tracker, the updated dividend tracker that I think is a lot cleaner looking. And this is the one we're going to use going forward. So you can see across the top here, our top line bar that navigates what we're looking at is a lot cleaner. And these are the dividends I've gotten so far in January. It's a little bit of a sneak peek for you. The first few lines look extremely similar. They look basically the same. And then as we come down here, the total monthly dividends are the same. This month's return, the yearly return of every month was the same as this. And then the full full-time hourly pay rate is just going to be part of the overall calculation now. Then I've added in the 2025 total dividends in terms of the total cash that I've gotten from dividends, because I think that's a fun number to pay attention to. And then my overall dividend return for the year. The tricky thing is this number is really incomplete until it's all the way to the end of the year, because all I've done is taken the total amount we have invested divided by this total dividend number. And so right now it looks really bad because we only have 1 month to factor in. But every month that we add in more and more, that number is going to go up and up and up. So it'd be kind of fun to watch that and track that. But now what's more fun than that is looking at the two new charts. This first chart is giving us that monthly return in terms of an APY, an annual percentage yield. And we're going to track that month by month. So right now, because we only have a few dividends in from January, we're only showing a 2% return, but that should go up after all the dividends come in. And then every single month after that, it's just going to automatically chart our returns across here. And so we'll probably have big spikes every quarter because we'll hit those quarterly payers, but I'm excited to see what this looks like and kind of average it out and get a better picture of what our overall return really looks like. Then the other chart is just our monthly dividend amount. So right now we only have the one figure for January because we've gotten $57 so far, but then across this year or multiple years, we'll be able to actually chart this. I'm hoping that over time it becomes pretty visually apparent that we're on an upward trajectory. Like if we add the trend line in on the Google Sheets data field, we can say, oh, look, there is a positive trend line. You know, it's going up and to the right, but we'll have to see. And I guess I could, now that I think about it with you, I could put in past data in here too, because why not? Let me do that now for you. As I update this for you, let me know what you think about dividends. Do you think this is a waste of time, that I should be all in on the S&P 500, that I should be doing call options, that I should be maximizing in some other way? If you had $30,000 today plopped into your account that you could dividend invest, you could invest in any other way, how would you deploy it? Leave me a comment. There we go. A few minutes later, we've got our full picture thus far, all the way from the inception of the time we started dividend investing till now. And I see a positive upward trend, right? It's going up and to the right, like overall. Obviously, these quarterly peaks are, which is pretty like heartening, but even these smaller months, these month-to-month amounts are going up and to the right. That's pretty cool. From summer of 2023 until now, we went from $73 on the high months to over $200. So it's like almost triple. It's pretty exciting. This is also not all the money that we have invested. So if you're kind of new to these videos and new to watching me, this is one small portion of our portfolio that I just chose to have invested. The vast majority of our money is actually in things like index funds and target date funds and things that track the overall stock market. This account still has things like that in it because SPHD and SCHD and JEPI and JEPQ are the main holdings that I have, and those are mixes of different companies, but I do have some individual stocks in here too. This is like by far the most individual stocks that I own out of any other kind of investing that we have. So for me, the breakdown, if you will, is like 90% index funds, target date funds, that kind of thing, largely in tax advantaged accounts like IRAs, 401ks, that kind of stuff. Then we've got little chunks elsewhere in taxable brokerage accounts. And then this is like the smallest chunk overall, which is specifically built for dividend investing. And within that, there's a piece of that are individual stocks. For me, dividend investing is fun and it's entertaining, but it's not my primary strategy. I don't think it's the way for us to make the most profit overall. I think it's just an entertaining way for us to kind of stay engaged. So if you want to follow along and see what happens after doing this for a full 2 years, if you want to keep seeing my account in grave detail, including future videos where I break down the percentage of each of these stocks that are in my portfolio, I can share that if you want. Then all you have to do is subscribe totally for free. Watch this video next, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.